Okay, hi everybody. We're starting chapter 4, which is a great chapter in this textbook. I don't think I'll be able to do it in 15 minutes, so there'll be 2 videos on this chapter. But hopefully you've read the textbook so far before you watch this video, so you have a clear idea of the questions that I'm going to ask at the end. So the first case study in the textbook is called At Your Service Spotlight. It's on the Four Seasons Hotel and Resort. Really a remarkable man that had this hotel idea and from concept to development. And, he had the golden rule. So his golden rule was the simple idea that if you treat people well the way you would like to be treated, they will do the same. I think if you break down customer service and in the hospitality industry especially, and you boil it down just to that idea, one simple idea, treat them well, how you would like to be treated, and they will do the same to you, is pretty important. That's a large part of customer service. So he focused on managing mid-sized luxury hotels, did lots of extra value-added things where service was more important than all the little, gadgets and things in the room. So he focused on the service aspect of the hotel. He had lots of audits, making sure that everything was kind of following standard practices. They had a great service culture, so it was really embedded in the recruitment, the perks for the employees, awards, and internal promotion. So that was some of their focus. It's a fabulous case study. Their customer base had a high repeat customer base, and they were willing to pay for the good service that they were getting and the quality product, and they would also recommend their friends. He received numerous awards, big ones in the hotel industry. So have a look through that. And I don't have any questions on homework on that one this week, but we'll go over a few more later on in this chapter. So internal marketing, what is that? When we think of marketing, we usually think of companies marketing to the people they want to sell their product to the customers, but we also have to market to the employees. So internal marketing is marketing aimed at internally at the company's own employees. It enables them to deliver a brand promise and to satisfy guests. It ensures high service, and there's a 4-step process they've identified to ensure that there is a good level of service and it's being communicated to everybody. So they established the service culture, which we talked about before, I think in the last chapter. They developed a marketing approach to human resource management. They disseminate marketing information, so that's just getting it out to the people. They implement a reward and recognition system. So they emphasize too few organizations apply this concept in business. It sounds very easy when you have it written out like this, but it's difficult sometimes as a company to make sure that you're following every one of those steps and ensuring that you're communicating to all your employees effectively. So it does help to boost revenues, but it is growing. There's a growing awareness that it will help lead to profits. So this is the slide here of the kind of how things move along throughout the marketing process. So, it starts with making sure you have the right employees who have the right information and are communicating the right kind of values of the company and the right kind of service. And then from there, it's just going to lead to more loyalty and profits. So we're going to go a bit more into that. So to establish a service culture, there's an organization culture and a marketing culture. So the organizational one, it's just the formal and informal guidelines, but it's the actual activities that take place. So whatever's actually going on in the company. And there's also the shared values and beliefs and the behavioral norms. So that's kind of what's normal within a company, and the individual understanding of the functions of an organization. So that contributes to the service culture, but it's the organizational side. The marketing side of service culture is, unwritten policies and guidelines that provide behavioral norms. So, going the extra mile for customers. I'm sure there's no textbook or an employee manual that says go the extra mile for every customer. But it's just more of a behavioral norm or something that people it's embedded in the culture to do. It defines the importance of marketing and the manner of execution. It's important in service organizations, and there's a strong link between the marketing culture of a company and its profits. So a little more on that service culture. It's a culture that supports customer service through policies, procedures, reward systems, and actions. So those 4 things we just went through on a few slides ago, that graph. So the culture must support customer service. Leaders are crucial for transmitting and preserving the culture of a company. The leaders typically are the ones staying around for longer and know more about the company, so it's imperative that they follow and preserve that by hiring the right people through the policies that they create. You need a commitment from management, which will give, that commitment needs to be a positive attitude towards customers and employees. Time and money transmitting value system. You need properly trained employees to respond appropriately and empowered to do so by the organization. I think that last one's very important, is that employees need to feel that they are able to go the extra mile for customers, or that what they're doing is going to be of value. So establishing a service culture can be different by different areas of the world. I think they gave an example in the textbook of in Japan when somebody was out for a run and they came back and they already had a towel and a water bottle waiting for them. So, they already anticipate the needs of their customers. So empowering your employees, the act of giving employees the authority to identify and solve guest problems or complaints on the spot and make improvements in the work process when necessary. So when you have employees that are empowered, it impacts the customer's perception of the service quality, because things can be dealt with right away. They're not having to wait for an answer from management or this or that or look up procedures. But if somebody feels empowered and able to do something, then that makes it a lot simpler for the customer and improves their perceptions. So essential aspects of internal marketing. So that internal marketing is what gives your employees empowerment. Involves decentralized decision making, so there's a trust and respect for the employee's judgment by management. And then Gurus, which was a study, is a interactive marketing concept written in there. It empowers frontline employees and it controls over task performance. So they have control over their task. Contingent on variability of customers' needs, task complexity. So sometimes if it's a really complex thing that a customer is asking for, then maybe it isn't something that the employee needs to have power over being able to deal with. So it's not suited to all employees either. Sometimes there are some employees you don't want to give that kind of empowerment to. So the benefits of empowerment and disempowerment in tourism and hospitality. Have a quick look at that graph. I'm not going to go over it too much, but I think every company would want to lower labor costs and increase profits, and so it's in everybody's best interest to empower customers or employees. Marketing approach to human resource management. So probably once upon a time they didn't think there was much of a marketing approach to it, but human resource management, to attract and gain good employees, there is a use of marketing techniques in there. They're looking for people. They've got to think creatively, attracting qualified employees. They've got to understand the employee market and what employees are looking for. Building a positive image helps, with marketing helps to attract better quality employees. So they can assist with employee motivation, incentives, and trainings by it's difficult to change behavior, and it's costly. If you recruit the wrong people, it costs an employee or companies a lot. So if you're doing your job in the beginning and you have good marketing out there, you're going to get better employees that want to work for you. A great example is in the WestJet case study, how they get, I can't even remember the number, 1,000 resumes a week. That might be an exaggeration, but without even having a job posting out there. That's how bad people want to work at WestJet. So continuous training can help improve morale and reduce turnover. So the better trained and equipped an employee is, the happier they are typically, because they feel enabled and skilled at what they need to do. We do see in the hospitality industry that the turnover rate is very high. people are changing jobs lots, and that can be that's where we need to have better morale. It'll help reduce that turnover. Developing employee pride. So pride motivates people to excel, more effective than money or position. Maybe hard to understand at some points in life, but people want to feel good with what they're doing, and the money isn't as important. It's how they feel at the end of the day. Pride builders accomplish this by setting aspirations that touch emotions. So, setting goals or things that, make employees feel well. They pursue a meaningful purpose, cultivate personal relationships of respect, and become a person of high character. And usually there's a little bit of humor on the way. So WestJet. There's a homework question at the end of the chapter on the WestJet case, just asking what the link between WestJet's culture and customer service is. You'll find that answer in the case study. If you haven't heard of WestJet, they're an airline loved by Canadians, that's for sure. Everybody in the media and the travel industry love to promote them, and they're usually a great partner for a lot of different companies. So they have internal service is as important as external service. So they treat their employees as important as their customers. So employee empowerment is fundamental for spontaneity. So the employees are empowered to, give you extra pretzels on a plane, or they're empowered to carry your luggage to a gate if you need help, that kind of thing, even though that's maybe not in their job description. They have a kudos program for people giving recommendations for positive experiences. They have a cares department, and then everybody takes a profit sharing and a sense of ownership and pride in the company. So that's very important in the attitude and the culture they've created. So they hire for the attitude and they train for skill. So they're not looking for people that have already been flight attendants for 20 years and know exactly what they're doing. They're looking for people with a great attitude that fit their brand and their company, and that are going to foster the same type of service culture that they have within the company. So disseminating of marketing information to employees, that's just passing along marketing information, how you get it to the employee. So the frequency, how often you do it, the quality and the accuracy of communication. You don't want to be, they're using a lot of big words here, sorry guys, but it moderates ambiguity. So you don't want to be giving that information to the employees all the time. Just needs to be of quality, the frequency that they need to retain it, and that will help increase job satisfaction. So how you can communicate to your employees is getting this marketing information to them: one-on-one, company meetings, training sessions, newsletters, emails, reports, videotapes, blogs. We have an example of a blog in the textbook I'll go over in a few moments. So, employee exclusion from the communication cycle. Many companies exclude customer contact employees from the communication cycle. So you often have, feedback from a customer, oh, this wasn't great and this is why, but it never gets told to the person that sold it to them, or, so they're just saying that sometimes the communication with some companies can just go to, let's say, a complaints department. And so there are many, employees that are just exempt from all of that communication back to them. Frontline employees should be informed of new promotions and products so that they're able to help customers when questions come in, changes in the service delivery process, and the action steps in a marketing plan. So you need your front employees to be on board with anything that changes within a company, or what's going to happen next with a company, so they can anticipate it. It is a great way to help them feel empowered and knowledgeable and confident in helping customers. So poor internal communication is a service quality risk. Customer contact employees are not able to deliver advertising promises. So if your employees don't know what they're doing, there's no communication to them, it's going to be a poor contact when they have or poor experience when they have contact with a customer. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop that video there because I'm almost out of my time limit here. But we're going to come back in a few moments when you click on the next video and talk about Southwest, their blog.